Hi guys, welcome back to my rabbit hole of K-pop. I am Atomic Rabbit. My life has become so busy lately, in a good way for me of course, but it has seriously cut into my recording time. And I am pretty sad about that, because honestly, I really love connecting to the K-pop community. I really love connecting to my own community, my own rabbit hole, all these people that came into it, and I sincerely hope that you have fond memories of the time that we've spent together so far. This is not a goodbye video in any way. Don't worry about that one bit. I'm not going anywhere. Wasn't planning to. It's just that for now, I have to concentrate on my studies and work so that I can, hopefully in the future, somewhere, at some point, spend more time on the video side as well. And right now, I make time for 17 and 80s because that's the only thing I can promise so far. That's the only thing that's doable for me. I still love every single one of them, but when it comes to showing my face in my rabbit hole, for now it's only 80s and 17. It's taken me a while to come to terms with that. Let me be very honest about that. I felt very guilty for not being able to make it on here. But I also know that whatever I'm going through right now and whatever is happening in my life is beneficial for me. It is for me to help me grow. It is for me to figure out who I am, what I want, where I want to go, and set my priorities straight and just develop myself overall and not only on the YouTube side of things. That being said, I also, next to making time for 80s and 17, I have started a podcast with my girls, Emily and Laura, from the States, who I was with in last September, and went to 17 with. We have set up a podcast. It's about K-pop. It's for everyone, whether you're a K-pop fan or not. And we have just decided to share our love for K-pop, but also try and educate a little bit from our perspective, but also from an objective perspective. So if you miss me, you'll also be able to find me there on the K-Pop Wire podcast. And I'm also putting it, of course, in the description box. Okay, that's enough about me. Now I want to talk about 80s. Also, pardon my nasal voice and my sniffing. I have one of the worst cases of hay fever. Luckily, this time it's not my eyes being droopy and closed, although they are kind of small and tired. It's mostly my nose, my sinuses, and a slight discomfort in my throat, and I also have trouble breathing. No, it's not COVID. It really is hay fever. It's not a joy. So, excuse my sniffing. I can hear myself do it, and I know it might sound really gross. And now I've brought it to your attention, so excuse me for that as well. Anyways, 80s, Outlaw. Man, oh man. As soon as I could, on Friday, I went to Spotify and I started playing the album, and it started off with This World, and I knew from the previews, from the album previews that we had gotten, that it was gonna be an absolute killer of an album. I had never expected what we got. Never. I had no idea, and I don't think I'm the only one. I think what I love the most out of this album is that the whole sounds like a musical or a big piece that is composed out of different parts. Like, for instance, Vivaldi's Four Seasons, because it has 4 seasons. I feel like this album has like its 6 seasons with the 6 songs that they have put in there, because they all make so much sense. But they're all different, but they all sound similar. And there is this big sort of storyline woven into every single song. And it makes so much sense. What I know from previous albums, or what I've experienced in previous albums, was that every song was really different, like in a different genre. And I think mostly the Fever series had really like individual songs, individual styles. And I think the Treasure series were more like the beginning phase of 80s. Like it was either it was kind of slow, or it was like not slow but slower poppy, and then it was kind of harder poppy. But this is a combination of sounds that we only hear in heavy metal, that we hear in musicals, that we hear in kind of like, Aladdin, like Arabian Nights kind of tunes, like Middle Eastern kind of tunes, with the constant switch between minor and major keys. And it starts off with This World, which is this big kind of musical song. And then we go into June, which has like almost deep, heavy metal vibrations in it with the deep voices. Like the whisper sounds almost like it's a really raw cry. Also, I read someone saying This World sounds so much like a Muse song, which 100%. And that is what attracted me to Muse. And now I got that. This is one of those things again. Like, I have everything I want out of music in 80s, in K-pop. Everything I want is in K-pop. I don't need anything else anymore because it's all in there. And then Bouncy is just, this song, it's kind of dirty with that kind of beat, and then it sort of hypes up, and then we gotta slow it down, and with that choreo, which is just pure perfection. It's like they took compared to Gorilla was probably one of the hardest choreos to learn, and then we've got this one, and immediately everyone pops off, and it's so funky, and it's so 80s at the same time. There's this 80s humor in it. And then we go into Wake Up. No. Then we go into Django. And now this is where it becomes very complicated for me, because I just can't choose a favorite of this album. I heard the first three, and then I got into Django, and I knew from the previews that Django had some of the sounds that I would really, really enjoy. But then I discovered that they were also in the three previous songs. And later on, I discovered they were in the next two songs as well. So I don't really know. And with the K-Pop Wire podcast, what we do is every week we post songs of the week that we have. And this week I said, just put another song that I've had on repeat for the whole week before the album dropped. I said, and give me another week to try and figure out which song I'm going to give you, because the whole album is on repeat and I just don't know whether to choose June or Django or Bouncy or Wake Up or Outlaw or This World. I just don't know. Because then we go into Wake Up and you can hear them talk to you, and they're so close in your ear. It's again, you're like sucked into this 80s musical, this 80s playground, this 80s basement, this kind of dirty, enchanting. It's like they're singing their pirate songs, like siren songs. That is what this whole album is. It's like, it's a siren musical. You cannot escape it. You cannot detach yourself from it. You cannot cover your ears. You cannot not listen to it because it's so captivating. And then Outlaw, which is like the final song of that album, and it starts off in the same spirit, and then there's that switch where it goes, nah. And then we got a kind of like a Destiny's Child Beyonce kind of switch in a beat, and then we got like a song with that like, and I felt like I was watching a Step Up movie, because that is a song that would go into a Step Up movie. And then I look at them, and I look at their stage performances from this comeback, because those I've watched, and I look at their Immortal Songs performance, and I listen to the covers that they share with us, and on the Immortal Song stage, I see Wooyoung, and he starts singing his lines, and for a second I think it's Jungho, because he's so powerful. And then I listen to Yeosang, who is just surprising me with every single tune that he expresses, the emotion and the power that is in there. And man, that man has got some vocals. Holy mother forking frick. For real. Like, he has a wonderful voice. But that is Oh, it's like sweet candy. Sweet candy combined with roses on a summer night. It's kind of, that's what he sounds like. Absolutely dreamy and so beautiful, and so he has such a surround sound. His voice is such a surround sound because he can go high, and which it sounds softer because he has this deep voice, so there's body coming with it, and it's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Hongjoong's rapping, oh my god, oh my god. With every single album, Hongjoong is showing me that he is one of the best rappers that exists out there because of his unique tone, but now also he's rapping so fast. Like, what the hell? Dude, come on! Songhwa rapping? Songhwa jumping off a table and sounding like he just did a tiny hop? What is happening? Like, what is going on? In 3 years' time, these guys have shown the same amount of progress that people wish they could achieve in 10 years. Not even 3 years. I'm just amazed. And now I am more than ready to watch this MV. So let's head into it. Also, excuse my neighbors. It's very hot these days in here. I'm not gonna shut the windows. I already shut off my ventilator for you guys. This was the last teaser, like intro, like this man is so beautiful. This is my favorite outfit. This is don't. I think this is the best chorus ever. Just because it's Captain, it matches, it's everything. Oh my god, I love this so much. It's so hot. Speaking of hot, oh. The way he leads this, oh, with that face.
If you wanna know how, I can show you right now. Bounce, bounce, we don't fly, fly. If you wanna know how, I can show you right now.
This is so sexy. It's Cowboy Pirates in a Tarantino jacket. Oh. Oh. I have felt like this MV and this song might be like a continuation of Thanks. And it also really connects to The Real because they're in duos and they're separated and they're in different situations, different scenes. And there's so much happening in this as well. But also it connects to Rocky. And maybe to Wave as well, or Illusion. There's a little bit of everything in it. I'm really curious about the behind the scenes for this one. I think that's gonna be an epic behind the scenes. And I really hope I can make some time if it drops on the right day that I can share it with you guys, but otherwise I'll have to watch it by myself. But at least I've got this one out with you and kind of like a sort of album review. And on that note, if you'll excuse me, I want to go back to listening to the album. So thank you so much for joining me on my couch. Hope you enjoyed it. I miss you guys, but I carry you in my heart always. I will see you on the next one.